up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're channeling wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Welcome to the podcast. Tell a friend, tell a friend. We're getting ready to start this up soon. Episode 5. Let's jump right into it. Welcome to This Week Inside the New York Knicks, episode 5. It's definitely going down. I am the objective fan straight out of Kings County, New York City's finest, and you know the vibes. So we had an action-packed week, a lot to talk about coming off the holiday season. First off, salute to you if you had an amazing holiday season, or even if you didn't have an amazing holiday season. I took the time off to spend time with family. And the Knicks also took time off too. Quentin Grimes said he was thankful for the time off. He has an injury, his ankle. His wrist sprained, and quickly went to DC to go spend time with family. So it seemed like the Knicks they took time to enjoy the holidays. So sometimes that's what we got to do. I unplugged, and I was able to get some quality time in. Hopefully, we get some more people in the building. Trying to podcast live again. Last week's episode, I did a pre-recorded episode, and it was pretty cool. I mean, and I also wasn't on camera, but definitely going forward, I want to be back on camera to do my episodes. So also we're streaming on multiple platforms. Hopefully this doesn't crash. The last time I tried this, unfortunately the stream went down. So hopefully it doesn't happen again. You can find this podcast on all streaming apps. Right now, we're streaming on Facebook, but even after the fact, if you want to listen to it, podcast form, podcast style, you can get it on all your podcast streaming apps, Apple, Google, and wherever you find your podcast. So we have a lot of interesting topics. We're going to be talking about the home struggles. Depending on when you're listening to this podcast, we have two flagship topics. We're going to be talking about why the Knicks struggle at home, and we're going to be talking about that Phoenix Suns game too. We're going to start out with, unfortunately, the bad and the ugly. Then we're going to get into some NBA Cup and the question, our next flagship topic, which is, can the Knicks actually win the NBA Cup? I think they can. I'm going to share why. Um, and last night, I know a lot of fans are down because we lost last night, but it happens. It happens. It was a close game. You would think without Durant we would be able to get the job done, but unfortunately we couldn't. So salute to everybody listening to the stream right now. Trying to get some more people in the building. We sharing it on all the platforms, all the networks. Tell a friend that we live. I kind of This is a late start. Typically I like to start the podcast around 9, 11 o'clock in the morning, but we gonna rock and roll, man. We gonna rock and roll. No matter what the turnout is. Uh, so if you don't know what the Twin K podcast, this week inside the New York Knicks podcast, this week inside the Knicks podcast, three three different variations of names of the podcast. This podcast is about documenting the Knicks 365. If you give me 50 minutes, I give you the Knicks. We take those 365 days, divide it up into 52 weeks, and each week we have an episode. All of the things we discuss on the podcast definitely will also be included on the website, www.theobjectiveknicksfan.com. I will have all the sources, everything, even topics that we didn't cover. If you really want to stay tuned to what the Knicks is, what's going on with the Knicks, you want to follow the podcast and check out the website. Definitely, as this podcast grows and we do it for seasons upon seasons, this will be a great reference point for people to go back in the past and check out the past episodes. Um, and also, still looking for a host. If you're interested in hosting podcasts, you got some experience, you love the Knicks, send me an email. Or even if you just want to contact me, send me an email at info@theobjectiveknicksfan.com. So let's jump into research mode. Let's jump into research mode. Pow. So we're going to start off with the Suns game. This game was one of the most ugliest games to watch. Very disappointed in the Knicks and what they weren't able to accomplish. I do understand that sometimes when you're going into a game, so like people they might get excited, like, oh well, look, Durant's not playing. But you got to understand if you have a game plan that is set up for Durant and Durant is not there, that can come back to bite you. That can come back to haunt you. And I think this is one of those things where you put all your energy and all your efforts into stopping Durant, but now he's not there. So now you have to be able to, navigate through that terrain. And now you're dealing with a whole bunch of guys who you probably don't have much scouting material for, like Metu and Eric Gordon. Well, no, you're gonna definitely prep for Eric Gordon. He's a good player, but you may not know much about Goodwin. And Nasir Little hasn't really got much time. So this Suns team is a team that hasn't had their star players there. Bill's only played a couple of games. Durant has been he's been the stabilizing force for this team. He's played most of the games, but he's also has been plagued by some injuries as of late. And Booker has been in and out of the lineup. But I guess this is Booker's time to, hold down the fort. And he definitely did his thing that night. And my thing with the Knicks though is like we have to do a better job at protecting the home court. And that's what this flagship topic is about. And we lost 3 games at home, 3 winnable games. Even though these teams are good teams, the Suns, they had a 10-6 record coming into the game, one of the top teams in the West. We lost to the Celtics first game. Okay. That game, we actually did a live play by play for that game. I give that game a pass. Because it was the first game, opening nights. But then that Bucks game, against a Bucks team that was struggling, they were 3-2, and I felt like that Bucks game, we definitely could have won that game too. Even though, like I said, these teams are really good teams. The Milwaukee Bucks is, some people have them favored to win the entire championship. So I understand that we're losing the good teams, but that's problematic. But let's talk a little bit about the Suns game. So uh, the craziest thing about this game was Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon started. I mean, sorry, Eric Gordon. He started out on fire. He hit three threes in the first quarter, right? And then he just like it's like they were so focused on triple teaming Booker that they just neglected Eric Gordon. I mean, I don't understand it. This guy, he shot 9 to 13 from the field, as you can see. He wound up finishing the game with six threes, and he had those six threes like by like mid third quarter. He was hooping, and it seemed that the Knicks just really didn't have a counter for what the other things the Suns bring to the table. The Suns is not just Devin Booker. I mean, they have other players that were putting in work that was giving the Knicks fix. Even this kid Goodwin off the bench, who's a kid who I've been monitoring. He has some good games. He's like the technically the only point guard on the team, even though he's kind of a combo guard. He's averaging 6 and 2, and he definitely put on a show last night. His first game in the Garden, and he was 6 of 10 from the field, 14 points. I mean, if you're the New York Knicks, you gotta you can't allow these guys. Some of these guys are just role players, guys that never really got the opportunity to shine to come out hustle you on your home court floor. I mean, the Suns were out rebounding the Knicks 17-7 in the first quarter. Like, I mean, like that's crazy. Like the Knicks are the best rebounding team in basketball. So when we talk about size and the small bench, it hasn't hurt the Knicks in terms of their rebounding prowess, right? The Knicks are one of the better teams. Let me see if I got the Knicks basketball reference pulled up here. No, I don't. Let's see. Yeah, I do right here. So yeah, the Knicks. I mean, let's look at the stats, right? So when you look at the league rankings, right, the Knicks were like a top number one in rebounds, right? Number two in offensive rebounds. Number 11 in defensive rebound, and it was higher before that Suns game, but this is the current up to date rankings for the Knicks. But I mean, clearly size. Now, here's one thing to the size people that they would like to point out is that they did get 30. They only have 30. They're 30th in blocks with 2.5 blocks a game. That's kind of that's pretty bad. That's uh, you're not doing a good job intimidating guys to attacking the basket. But to be honest, I mean, the only difference is Obi Toppin. I mean, Obi Toppin was, the backup power forward last year. Wasn't much of a rebounder, nor was he much of a shot blocker. Let's go to the previous season just to get a look at what they averaged last year. So last year, they were 23rd in blocks. So the Knicks was never really a good shot blocking team. So the small ball argument, you cannot use that against them, at least in that regard, right? So let's go back to the Suns again. I mean, and then Brunson, the Brunson burner, he's becoming the consistent force. He's definitely tapping into what he was doing last year. Kudos to him. Um, I think that Jalen Brunson, he's making his pitch to become all star. An all star this season. I think that if Jalen Brunson continues this output and the Knicks stay well above 500, there's no doubting him. I mean, what he's been doing it during these last couple of games. I mean, especially since like the Wolves game. I mean, these games were beside every game besides the Wolves game and the blowouts at home. They've been in some really close contests and they had trouble closing out games. And even like free throws, like they missed a lot of key free throws that could have kept them in the game or put them in a position to establish a lead and keep a lead. We shot 79% from the free throw line. I mean, you're not going to win if you're not hitting your free throws. Brunson was 0 of 2. That's the only demerit on his rap sheet is he was 0 of 2 from the free throw line, right? But everything else he was on the money. Now we're gonna get into to some Randall. Julius Randall, he struggled this game. Definitely wasn't uh, a factor much early on the game. Now, to the Suns' credit, the Suns were trapping him. I mean, they were sending triple teams at Julius Randle, and like I said in the game, one of the keys to the game was the Suns are actually a really good shot blocking team. With Nurkic, who was pretty solid on the glass, solid on the boards. Even though Mitch eventually came and was playing, but early in the game, Nurkic was kind of muscling Mitch around, and he also had the 4 blocks. And you see why, the Suns get the blocks is primarily Nurkic is a really good shot blocker. Let's see if we could get his season average. Um, let's see, he's averaging 1.3 blocks a game, but he had 4 blocks last night. He was definitely an enforcer. He gave Mitch fits early on, but Julius Randle, bringing it back to him, he was triple teamed and really, really did not um, establish a rhythm early. Like he had a bunch of smaller guys on him, guys that really are not in his league. I mean, when you look at this kid here, Kata Bates Job, he's 6'9", but he's only 229. Not enough size there. Okogie 6'4". So like the Suns got a bunch of like slim wings and power forwards that aren't really capable of matching up with Randall. Even this kid Metu, who's 6'10", but I mean clearly he was outclassed. Once again, Randall out. He's bigger, even though the Metu kid is 6'10". A lot of those guys are slim and thin, so Randall is able to literally bully ball against these guys. And for whatever reason, in the first half, Randall just couldn't get it going. And this is why they need to start Quentin Grimes. Sorry, the bench Quentin Grimes for DiVincenzo or maybe even Hart, because the Knicks are not capitalizing off first quarters. Like if you look at the game against Phoenix, so it was 34-22, right? Let's see, I got the Heat here too. We might talk a little Heat. So in the Heat game, it was 28-25. Let's look at the Timberwolves. Against the Timberwolves, it was 31-28. So the Knicks are losing a lot of first quarters. And if you want to have success, especially in the playoffs and as the seasons progress, you're going to want to have great starts. I already did videos talking about Quentin Grimes coming off the bench, and I understand right now he's dealing with an injury, so we can't be too hard on him. But at the same time, it's not working in our favor. He definitely did a great job on Booker in the first half. Booker shot 1 of 7, right, from the field. Booker finished with 28 points. Um, and then in the third quarter, he started to turn it up. That's when Booker scored 9 points, started really rocking, started really flowing, and started becoming more aggressive and becoming more efficient. And I applaud Grimes and his defense, but at the same time, you're going to need more than that. You're going to need more than that. So salute to the people that just joined the stream. This is a podcast episode for Twin K. We're talking about the Knicks, from the period of November 19th to the 26th. Right now, we're talking about the Suns game, but we're going to be talking about more than just the Suns game. And we're really like honing in on the Knicks' home struggles as well. Like, we know that we can't continue that going forward. We're going to have to be more solid at home if you want to definitely. I thought that, we can win 50 games, but clearly we got some work to do before we get there. One of the things is winning these home games, especially against a team. I say hobbled, right? I got that from Walt Clyde. These hobbled teams. I mean, if you're coming in without 2 of your all stars, and the Knicks see that they should capitalize off that. There's no reason why a team like this should come into the Garden and win. Now, yes, it can be a close game because you're not going to blow everyone out. It's not going to be easy to blow guys out. I mean, guys take pride in the game. So you're not going to just run through everybody. I never expected them to blow the Suns out. I expected the Suns victory. I didn't care if it was 1 points. I didn't care if it was a sloppy game. I didn't care about none of that. All I care about is getting the W, and especially at home against a team that's depleted. So and then let's to on the more positive side, Emmanuel quickly. Listen, Emmanuel quickly. I did a video on the channel talking about trading him, and but what a lot of people didn't understand, especially the IQ fans, or should I say stands, but that's a whole nother topic. They got mad because they just love quickly no matter what. The only reason why I said to trade quickly is because to have greater balance, get a guy who's 6'7", 6'8" that could play some power forward. And so for balance purposes, not because I think that Quickly's not a good player. And right now, where I stand, I love the way Quickly's playing. I think you'll be a fool to trade him. So I don't want to trade Quickly right now. I think Quickly is making his case to be sixth man of the year, and he's a bright spot. I mean, he hits big shots. He always plays with confidence. I don't even think he started this game as efficient as he should be, but he was able to hit some big shots down the stretch to keep us in the game and help close the gap. And we shouldn't be down like this at home. Like to a team. Like if we pull up, let's pull up their largest lead. So I believe their largest lead was 15 points. You want to know what the Knicks' largest lead was? 2 points at home. This is crazy. Doesn't matter. And then that lead, they only had that lead for a couple of seconds, like because eventually the Suns came back and I think they hit a three, and ever since then the Knicks never took the lead again. They tied it a couple of times, but not anything to write home about. So the stream still looks good. Salute to everybody in the building as you come in, hit the like button. And also feel free if you have something to say, I'll respond to your messages as well. This is an interactive episode anytime we do it live. And I just wanted to take the time out to let you know that. And anything else with this Suns game? Let's see. Now, Jalen Brunson, I'm a little concerned about Brunson. He has been, taking a lot of contact, and his shoulder, he had all types of like bandages and thing on his shoulder to try to, help him, manage the pain. But, the kid is a warrior, man. He says this is what Tom Thibodeau said. I don't know what medical would say, but he went through practice. He did a shooting the whole time, the whole routine. So unless something flares up, he's going to be ready. Because there was some, worry of whether or not he'll be able to play against the Suns, and he was able to play. He was able to come out there and do what he did. He practiced, but I'm a little concerned about Brunson's shoulder. Because look, all right. So here's another quote. It's not only his physical toughness; it's probably more of his mental toughness. He never takes days off, which can be a good thing, which also can be a bad thing. Salute to King Ribby. Uh, Glad to see you in the building, man. We doing another podcast episode 5 of the Twin K podcast. We're talking about the Knicks, the Suns right now, and we were talking about their struggles at home. So salute to you. If you have anything you would like to say about that, I just went through the game and I didn't really get into why they struggle at home just yet, but I just was talking about the Suns games and some of the concerns from that game. Um, so and then like I said, Eric Gordon, he was amazing. He was amazing. Let's see anything else from this game. So salute to all the people that just joined in. Let me check Facebook. First time streaming on Facebook. So to all the Facebook people watching, don't be shy. Say hi. Another key. I'm talking about the last thing from this game. The post covered it. I also made note of it too. They tried the hacker Mitch, and it kind of backfired on them because I don't know if it was the timing of when they did it. I don't know if it was the timing of when they did it, but for whatever reason, it was a take foul. Now, this is what I know a take foul to be. The take foul will be, let's see, is when a player makes an intentional foul that doesn't make a play on the ball, and it's typically on a fast break to stop an easy basket, right? So that's what a take foul is after a steal or a turnover. And that's the thing. Like this was a rebound, so it's like, and all of this stuff is subjective. The argument could be made that Mitch, was held back from making a play, and typically prevented the Knicks from starting a fast break. But at the same time, from what I remember with Hacker Shaq and on all of the Hacker, everybody who was Hacker Dwight, everybody who had that strategy was that they did it typically after as soon as the guy was touched the ball or after the team got to play. Like I guess it kind of is a take foul. I thought that was kind of interesting because it wasn't after the 2 minute mark. So the post kind of talked about, if you want to read that, you can check out the post. Um, and I know an intentional foul is just like when you're just trying to at the end of the game, you just want to catch up, you want to stop the clock, so you just foul them. So I don't know. It's that was kind of weird. That was kind of weird. I don't care because I'm a Knicks fan, and so screw those guys. Let's see what King Ribby's talking about. For some reason, my chat window is kind of weird. How you feel about the 2024 picks, and Evan Fournier for Pistons wings, by Jonovich? You know what? The Knicks right now are kind of like they're in a position where if they're going to do a trade, it's going to have to be for a really good player because the Knicks already got a really good bench, and now you're adding another wing to the fold. And Bogdanovich, to my knowledge, is not a good defender. So how do you justify giving him time and over who? Because like I said, we already went through this. You have Grimes, who they love the kid to start, and I understand it because he's a really good defender, right? So are you doing that trade for Bogdanovich to start him? You think it's going to happen, really? Uh, hmm. I don't know. I don't know if that's going to happen. I didn't really see anything in the rumor mill talking about Bogdanovich, but hey, if it happens, I just don't know where you're going to put him. Just answer that for me. Where would you put Bogdanovich if you were to do that trade? Because I don't know where you would put him. Grimes, so you start Bogdanovich over Grimes, and then so Grimes would probably be the odd man out. But like I said, your only issue with that too is the defensive side. Now, because now you're asking RJ to pretty much do what Grimes do on the defensive end. Oh, he said, look it up. Let's look it up. Shoot, let's look it up. We in research mode, man. We'll look up what we got to. Let me see. Let's go on Google. Let's see. Make sure we're in the Google browser, and we'll look up. Let's see, Bogdanovich. Let's see what we got here. See news. Wait, do I got the right Bogdanovich? Because I know it's like two of them. All right, let me see. Fournier. Where did you hear it? Oh, CP posted it. Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'll check that out. I'll check that out. I don't know. I mean, I don't know why the Knicks would do that trade though. I like. I don't. I don't like that trade. I'm gonna keep it real only because, like I said, Bogdanovich is not really a defender. He's a really great shooter. I mean, I guess one could argue we do need more offense, especially after last night's game. But at the same time, you know, I guess I don't know. I gotta look into that. I'm gonna look into that after the podcast. I'm gonna look into that Bogdanovich trade. I'm not really a fan of it because I feel like he's a little bigger. Like he does have some. He has good size. I think he's like 6'7", right? And he definitely is a scorer. You won't have any offensive issues with Bogdanovich. You definitely won't have no issues with him for sure. Um, let's see. So we already know Knicks beat the Heat. That was a big game, playing game. I'm gonna jump into the playing tournament a little later. Uh, but yeah, this game was pretty exciting. I'll jump into the playing tournament a little later. Of course, we lost to the Wolves on the road. This game was sad, 100 to 117. But hey, it happens. It was the last game of a road trip. We'll move forward. So yeah, we're moving pretty fast now because these are things that already happened. Trying to jump into my next topic. Let's see. Someone has to go. We have 3 first-round picks and someone. But you know what, Cream Ribby? 2 of those picks we might lose. The Wizards. We talked about that on the last podcast. I think it's the Wizards pick. Hold on, let me pull that up right quick. Because this is why I don't like trading for protected picks too. Like it comes back to backfire because if you don't meet the requirements, hold on, let me see if I can pull that up right quick. Doop, 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 doop. If you don't, if the team, fails to meet the requirements, sort of like that what Dallas did last year, they tanked so they could keep their pick. So some of those picks we won't even get, man. Unfortunately, I don't know why am I seeing it. I had it in my notes last week. Let's see. Oh yeah, here it goes. So yeah, you were talking about the Pistons, right? So yeah, so no, not Nick Muse. Hold on, that's the wrong one. I'm trying to find. I just had it. Oh yeah, right here. Yeah, okay. Yeah, with the Pistons and the Jazz, we're gonna lose those picks. So we're only gonna have two. We're only gonna have 2 picks going forward. So King Ribby. So that's why I don't know. I don't know. I mean, hey, I guess they're trying to flip Fournier for a pick, maybe. But in terms of Bogdanovich, listen, we've been hearing about this guy for years. If the Knicks get him, salute, congrats. But I don't think that the Knicks need. I don't think we need him. You know, in the long run of things, I think in the short term he's going to help. Provide offense. But going into a playoff series, I mean, he hasn't really done much. I mean, all right, just because I'm really curious. What I'm gonna do? You said the Detroit Pistons. We're gonna pull up Detroit Pistons, and we're gonna look at whether or not let's see. So, do, 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 do. All right. You know what? I want to go to Basketball Reference because that's the best site. Let's see. So I'm at the Pistons right now, and we're gonna pull up. Let's see. All right. All right, so yeah, Bojan Bogdanovic, he's 6'7". Yeah, he got great size. He averages 15 a game. He's shooting 40% from downtown. So, I mean, oh, they do have him listed as a power forward here, but he's not a. He only averages 3. King Ribby, you really want this kid? You really want Bogdanovic? Man, I don't know. How you guys feel about Bogdanovic? I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it at all. I do understand, Fournier, you want to get rid of him and things of that nature, but I don't know. That's a tough one. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. Let me see. So we talked a little bit about the Heat. Talked about the Wolves. Now the thing about that Wolves game was that Grimes, he had the wrist injury, right? And to all my people, that's coming down on Grimes. The man could be playing hurt. So I know against the Suns he shot 1 of 5 from the field, 1 of 3 from downtown. But I think that I know I'm on the bench Grimes trade, and I gotta look into this Bogdanovich trade right now, because according to King Ribby, he said CP said that there's a move for Bojan, you know, and if you make a move for this kid here, I mean, he's going to provide scoring, which is something that the Knicks do need. The Knicks, we definitely need offense, man. badly. You know, I'm not gonna say badly, but I'm gonna say we definitely need offense, and but Bogdanovich will help with that. I'm just gonna put his name in Google right now to see if anything pops up. Let's see. So yeah, do see CP. I guess CP was on the money. Yeah, okay. So they're saying here, according to the Daily News, let's open it up. It's saying that it's kind of difficult to do the deal. Yeah. So yeah, we losing our picks, like I said, because of the Pistons and the Jazz are off to a poor start. So those picks are out of here. So we're only gonna have two picks coming up. Um, Coming up in the draft. Two of those picks are out of there. If you so yeah, he's 31 years old. His contract's not too bad either. His contract's not too bad. I don't know. I don't think we need him. But he does have decent size. He is 6'7". But do you think that the defense, how do you feel about the defense? That's what I'm curious to know. Do you feel like defensively Bojan can, keep up? Because the Knicks, everyone plays defense. And I think that's the one area that will be a struggle. So yeah, so CP was on the money with that. CP was definitely on the money with that. Let me move forward. Oh, before I move forward, while we here, let's talk about it. Um, as you can see on the screen, I got the shirts, flashing. We're gonna go to the website shop.theobjectiveknicksfan.com, get all your Knicks merch. We got the Cyber Week deal. You just put the Cyber Week at the checkout, and you can see some of the merch here. The I Bleed Orange and Blue T-shirts. I have the black version to the NY I Bleed Orange and Blue shirts. That's gonna be coming out. So I'll upload it probably tonight on the website. You'll see it by tomorrow. But yeah, Cyber Week all week. We're gonna have this sale. Definitely check out the merch. If you bleed orange and blue, get you a shirt, holiday season at a discount. My shirts, like I said, I don't beat people over the head. Like some people do, they charge crazy prices for their shirts, even though sports apparel do cost a lot. But at the same time, you ain't gotta beat people over the head. But definitely check out the shop, that objectiveknicksfan.com. So we're gonna move forward. I want to talk about the NBA Cup now. So we're gonna talk about the NBA in season tournament. Right now, we're 2-1. We got a big game coming up with the Hornets. We'll also preview that game together too, since we're talking about it. And I started with a question that's one of the flagship topics, and that is, can the Knicks win the NBA in season tournament? And I think it's very possible. So if you're not familiar with the way this is set up, so you have Group A, Group B, Group C, and then same thing in the West Coast, right? Now, the best three teams, or the teams that win their groups, automatically qualify for the knockout round. So in Group A is going to be the Pacers because they won 4 games. Group B is between the Bucks, Knicks, and Heat. Now, if the Bucks lose the last game to the Heat, now we go to differential because it'll be a 3-way tie if the Knicks can beat the Hornets, right? So our division has a couple of different ways it can pan out, right? So salute to the people that just joined the building. Definitely, this is episode 5 of the Twin K podcast. We're talking about the Knicks from the week period of November 19th to the 26th. And right now we're talking about the NBA season tournament because we have a big game coming up against the Hornets. Can we get the job done? Can we win, right? So our division is still pretty wide open, and more than likely the wild card spot, which is the additional spot to the 3, sort of like old baseball standings where you had the 3 teams, the old baseball playoffs where the division winners would go, and then you have one team. That's what this is like, right? And then Group C, the Magic have it sold up, but the Celtics could still qualify if they get a win, or the Nets, right? And I think they don't play each other. They play these teams. I think the Celtics got the Bulls or something like that. So these are the teams that will be in it, right? So you have three potential teams in Group C. Now, in terms of the wild card, if let's say the Knicks win the last game, we become 3-1. Let's say all these teams become 3-1, 3-1, right? Cavaliers 3-1, Knicks 3-1, Celtics, Nets 3-1. We're all tied, so you would need a tiebreaker, and the tiebreaker is going to be point differential. That's why they have it here, and it's very important. Right now, the Knicks have the highest point differential of any team that doesn't have their Group 1, which is at +6. So the Knicks are right now, if the tournament were to end, the Knicks would be in there as the wild card team. This is why the Hornets game is important. We will have to beat the Hornets by a great amount of points. Let's see where we at. Do I have let's see. No, I don't got it. All right, so let me go back here. Yeah, that's why this matchup is important. As you can see, we're a great favorite according to the ESPN matchup predictor. And I think we're also like, -7.5 right here. So we have a great chance of winning. And that -7.5 is a good number. But I honestly believe we need to repeat what we did here. How we blew out the Hornets in the first game of the season, we played them, and then how we kind of blew them out in the second game. Yeah, we need to win by 15 points, right? Because going back here, if you look at the standings, point differential is key. So that's how much you win the game by. So now it's not about winning the game, it's about how much you win it by. So like I said, the Nets and the Celtics, they play one of these teams. I'll pull it up so we can be accurate. So the Nets, they're going to play the Raptors, right? So the Nets is playing the Raptors, which is going to be a tough game because the Raptors are going to go hard. Even though they're eliminated, the Raptors are still a tough team. And then the Celtics got the Bulls. More than likely, now I know the Celtics also have some injuries, right? Let's pull that game up too for the heck of it. So let's see. So Drew Holiday is going to be a game time decision. Porzingis is out. With Porzingis being out, the Celtics are definitely a beatable team. Because the Bulls are pretty healthy, and even though they're 5-13, I think the Bulls. Let's look at the last 5. Oh, the Bulls have pretty much struggled, and a lot of these games are like to be in-season tournament games. So this game is kind of in the air. What we need to happen is we need the Celtics and the Nets to lose, right? We need the Celtics and the Nets to lose. If the Celtics and the Nets can lose, because this is going to be a tough game against the Raptors. Let's see what the Nets. So Claxton's game time decision. Raptors are healthy, so the Raptors are going to play their A game. If the Raptors and the Bulls were to win, then we wouldn't have to worry about those two teams in the wild card spot, right? So that would eliminate the Celtics and the Nets. They will be out of here, right? And then all the team we have to worry about is the Cavs. Now the Cavs, let's pull them up right quick. They got to play against the Hawks. Now the Hawks are a good team. You know what? Let's check the injury report right now for that game because we're rooting for the Hawks. We need the Hawks to beat the Cavs. The Cavs is healthy, so this is gonna be a tough game. Oh man, and Jalen Johnson is out. Yeah, the Cavs are gonna win that game. We don't need the Cavs to blow out the Hawks because if they blow them out, it's bad for us because their point differential will go up. That's why the Knicks need to get a blowout. The Knicks need to get a blowout, period. The Knicks get a blowout, then our spot is safe going into the wild card to the NBA in-season tournament. Now, let's preview the game right quick. So if we want to preview the game, let's close this. Got a lot of tabs. So we'll preview the Knicks Hornets game right now too. Right? So let's see. So Knicks Hornets. Mitchell Robinson's game time decision. Mitch hurt his back. Didn't cover that in the early in the Suns breakdown, but Mitch apparently hurt his back. That was kind of scary. He fell hard on his back. Mitch is someone who's known to struggle with injuries. I am a little concerned by that. But even if Mitch is not there, you still got Jericho Sims. You still got Isaiah Hartenstein. They can hold it down. Now I know for the Hornets it says no injured players, but do I have the article with Ball up here? I don't see it. Don't worry about it. Ball also fell pretty hard, and he actually was carried off the court. Mitch continued to play. So Mitch continued to play. He was a game time decision. Ball was carried off the court. If Ball does not play this game, the Knicks cannot fall to the same Suns trap that they did last night. Hold on, let's go back. They can't fall to the same Suns trap that they did last night because let me tell you something. You know, the Hornets, they listen, Eastern Conference team, you know, they know who us, we know, we know them to a T, and they're gonna bring their A games. I'm gonna pull up their leaders. Look, you got Terry Rozier, 22 a game. Miles Bridges is averaging 21 a game. He only played 5 games, and he looked like he's coming back into the fold. So this Hornets team can be dangerous, especially if we fall into that Phoenix Suns trap. We cannot fall into the trap. Miles Bridges is bringing his A game. Terry Rozier, you know, he's a threat. He's always looking to kill the Knicks. PJ Washington didn't have a good game last game. He's solid. But this kid right here, Brandon Miller, is the guy who I'm most scared of. This kid right here, if Wemby goes down with an injury and misses a lot of time, and same thing with Chet, this kid will be rookie of the year. This kid has put up great numbers against us. Let me see if I could pull up the numbers that this kid put up against us right quick. So yeah, we're gonna go back to the past games. So this was the last game he put up 29, and then in the first game he got hurt, but he put up like 14 in like the first quarter or the first 2 quarters. He had like 11 or 14 points, right? So this kid, I'll tell you the exact number too, since I got it right here. But this kid Miller he's impressive. Yeah, he had 11 points in the first quarter. He had 11 points in 10 minutes. This kid gives us fits. The Hornets are a better team than their record. So the Knicks have to bring their A game like I know we're capable of. Yes, winning the game is everything, but we need to win by at least 10 points, as I explained. So now moving forward in the tournament, right? So hypothetically, right? Hypothetically, let's say the Magic, because they're first place right now. The Pacers already clinched. The Bucks, let's say the Bucks win our group. And so now you got us as the wild card team. So how they're going to do it, how I haven't really seen a breakdown on the brackets just yet, but it don't matter. It's fine, because how I think it's going to go is the team with the best record, which would be the Pacers or the Bucks, will face us. So we kind of need Miami to beat the Bucks, but we don't need Miami to beat the Bucks and blow them out. If Miami could just beat the Bucks and we all finish in a 3-1 tie, we'll have the point differential over Miami, because that game more than likely will be close anyway. I don't want to see the Bucks first, or if the Bucks do win this game, right? Indiana's point differential is locked in. That's why I kind of want the Bucks to lose. So our best bet is the Bucks to lose, because I don't want to play the Bucks first. If we can play Indiana first in the knockout round, we definitely could beat Indiana. First off, Indiana plays no defense. They play no defense. Let me see. Matter of fact, let's pull them up. Let's pull up the Pacers advanced analytics. The Pacers don't play no defense. I watched them play a couple of games, right? Obi Toppin is solid, but Obi Toppin is only as effective as Halliburton is in terms of dishing the ball. But so let's look at the Pacers right quick. So this is what their rankings are, right? Now, they're a great shooting team. Everything on offense, they're amazing, right? Except free throws. I thought they would be a better free throw team. But I guess because when you're knocking down the 3-ball the way they do, I mean, they're number one across the board. Field goals, number one across the board. Field goal percentage, field goal attempts, and just making field goals. They're number 2 in three-pointers made, and they're number 2 in three-point percentage. Like, look at all of their offensive numbers. Amazing. They're number 1 in assists. Halliburton, to me, is the best scoring assist maker in the game, right? And surprisingly, they're 15 in steals and 3rd in blocks. That's because they do got Miles Turner back there. Outside of that, they don't play no defense. Let's look at their opponents' rankings. They're pretty much last in field goal, but they're 29th. So they don't stop the other team from scoring. They just want to outscore the other team. That's the recipe to their success. That's not going to win you no championships. And I think that's going to render them getting their ass kicked. I shouldn't curse, but they're going to get their butts whooped against us in the knockout rounds. But look at this. It's ridiculous. Look at it. They're last in opponents' points. Their opponents are scoring 125 points a game. Yeah, they're scoring 128, but that's just not a recipe for success, in my opinion. So I think that if we match up with the Pacers, and then we let the Bucks and the Celtics or the Bucks and the Magic, let them fight it out, we'll see the winner of that game. And then on the West Coast, you got the Lakers. Okay. Ooh, Pelicans, Rockets. This is kind of interesting. And let's see, you got Sacramento. Yeah, let the West fight it out. The West will fight it out, and the Knicks have a chance, man. Everyone has a fighting chance. I just don't want to see the Bucks, even though we played the Bucks really well. I mean, a lot of the last 4 games against the Bucks, including last season, all those games are close, down to the wire. Like we're not getting blown out by the Bucks. But I'd rather see the Pacers because I think the Pacers are just ridiculous. Like they're just a video game team. They're like a video game from the early 2000s. Pure offense. Pure offense, right? So definitely if you are watching the podcast, you got a comment, thought, just let me know. I'll respond. Definitely while we're talking, while we're in announcement mode, check out all of my other social media platforms. First, start with YouTube. So if you're not on YouTube and you're listening to this and you made it to this point in the podcast, definitely go to the YouTube channel, The Objective Knicks Fan, and of course, all social media platforms. That's pretty much the name: TikTok, IG, The Objective Knicks Fan. Go subscribe, go like, go comment, all the cool stuff. Salute to King Ribby for checking in. Salute to everybody who will be listening to this podcast after the fact. But definitely take the time to support the Objective Knicks fan movement, and we're everywhere. We're everywhere you want to find us. So yeah, we wrapped up the Hornets game. Let's move forward. So I want to touch more. This is an article by SNY, and they're talking about Quentin Grimes. Why the Knicks shouldn't swap him out for DiVincenzo. The starting lineup with Grimes is outscoring the opponents by 20.5%, 20.5 points per possession, per 100 possessions. That's amazing. Let's see. The Knicks are 8-5, coming off 3 straight wins. Right. So I guess this is an old article. This is from the 20th, right? And to be fair, like I said, he injured that wrist. So those last couple of games, he might be playing hurt. Definitely playing hurt. And I think the reason why he's playing hurt, and this is why I don't want to just rob the kid just yet. Not that it's a robbery, but I don't want to sit the kid just yet because he is playing his heart out and he don't want to lose a spot. You start missing 4 or 5 games, your spot is up for grab. But when your wrist, even if it's your non-shooting wrist, it still takes away from the rhythm of your shot. That's why I think he's not shooting well. But let's see what else they got here. DiVincenzo is a more active player, despite arguably needing the ball less than Grimes, who has looked somewhat tentative this season. Yes, Grimes is too tentative. He definitely has to stop being tentative. He needs to really be aggressive and look for his opportunities. That's why I like DiVincenzo and Hart. They're going to be aggressive. They know how to play the game. They're going to look to fit in with the start. I think they fit in with what the starters are trying to do because they feel as though they're on that level. Like this confidence and swag. When Dante's shooting from 30 feet out, the man is no hesitation. Let's see. Grimes has lost. This is from Ricky Chan. Salute to Ricky Chan. Grimes has lost some confidence since Tom. For some reason, I can't see the rest of it. He's a very strict coach. Okay, so I don't know. I think that Grimes plays better with the bench. Every time like Grimes is with like, the bench guys, like let's say he's playing with Deuce McBride. Hell, all right, let's keep quickly out there. Sims, right? Let's say he's playing with a lineup like that. Grimes will become more aggressive. For some reason, he becomes tentative when he plays with the starters. Like even if you go back to the preseason when Grimes had a game where he shot crazy, he shot the lights out. It was because he was playing with those bench guys. So my logic is, if you put Grimes with quickly RJ, when RJ plays with the bench, and then Hart and Hartenstein, Grimes might feel more comfortable in terms of being aggressive and just playing without any real pressure. Because Grimes starting is a lot of pressure. He has to guard the Tatums of the world, the Lucas of the world, like the article has highlighted. And let's keep it real. That level of pressure defensively takes away from your offensive game, especially if you're not confident. Right, exactly. He doesn't want to step on anyone's toes. And that is the problem, Ricky. So that's why I'm saying let's put the kid with the bench unit so he can go hard and he can do what he has to do because the bench is kind of like, more free flowing and, it's less obligation to yield to the other, stars on the team. Now, I am for keeping Grimes in the lineup for a couple of reasons. Ricky, by the way, I'm kind of on your side in terms of I don't want to. Well, you didn't say whether or not you want to move Grimes, but I'm not trying to pick on the kid because I understand he has a wrist injury, and I'm giving him that benefit of the doubt. To not really, penalize the kid for that. And the kid is guarding the best players on the other opposing team, and he honestly has more size, even though he's only maybe an inch or two taller than DiVincenzo. He has a little bit more size to guard the Jason Tatum's and Luka Doncic, even though he is still undersized. So I don't want to take the star job just yet, but if we keep losing first quarters, I'm gonna start to call for him to go more. But this is an interesting article from SNY. Let's see. Okay, and then I'm gonna wrap on this point here. Even though I got a couple of more articles, but I'm going to talk about James Dolan and the Toronto Raptors and the Adam Silver saga. So, as we know, we covered this on the podcast. If you've been watching all the old episodes, we've been keeping up to date with the Knicks lawsuit against Toronto. And what happened recently is that the New York Post, in particular, highlighted the fact that, alongside other news platforms, that James Dolan resigned his position from the NBA board committee's position, right? Now what you have to understand about that is James Dolan, um, he did this before the lawsuit. So stick with me with that, right? Now they're reporting it. I don't got the Post article here, but they were reporting it as if he sued Toronto and then he resigned. A lot of people got that because I'm in all the Knicks groups and all of that, arguing with people every day, and people actually think that he resigned after and he's being petty. No, Dolan resigned before he sued Toronto because he felt like it's going to be a conflict of interest, right? So here's what Dolan said. Given all that is, this is what he said when he first resigned in July. Given all that has occurred lately, I've come to the conclusion that the NBA neither needs nor wants my opinion, right? And hey, maybe it is petty. I'm not gonna say it's not. Dolan informed Silver and his peers of his intention to no longer attend Board of Governors meetings, according to the memo. While Dolan didn't relinquish his voting power for his franchise, he indicated he would turn the Knicks general counsel Jamal Lassane to represent the organization at the BOG meetings. The memo said the transition has occurred. That transition has occurred, sources told ESPN. Okay. So my hope is that the Knicks will be treated equally and fairly as all other NBA teams. And as you know, I'm very busy, yeah, because he was busy with the MSG. He got the Sphere and the Sphere, the Las Vegas Sphere, and all that stuff. And so he just wants time to work on what he has to work on, right? Now, here's another key thing to this that I want to get to. I'm going to scroll down. So the Knicks are seeking $10 million. That is an update, right? Oh, salute to you, Ricky Chan. Yeah, he didn't want to step it on his toes. Yeah. I'm just trying to. So what I like to do, Ricky Chan, I like to just clear up a lot of misinformation because a lot of Knicks fans are just not well informed, or they just go with just one article. I have like 5 articles on this, right? I have an article here. This is Daily News. This is another ESPN article, and yeah, I had the Post too. There's like 3 more articles, but I'm just sticking to ESPN because I feel like the ESPN article is a little bit more objective, right? And I'm gonna wrap this up. So now the thing about the $10 million for me is like, yo, you're a multi-billion-dollar franchise. You really tripping off of $10 million? Like you're like we're really gonna act as if $10 million is gonna make a dent in the Raptors' pockets or the Knicks' pockets? But I do understand, hey, if someone owes you money or you feel like you're obliged to receive a certain amount of money from people, then you take advantage of it. So I'm not gonna knock them for that, but I just thought that was kind of funny. Now here's the key to this whole thing. And the filing, and because the Raptors, they filed a motion to dismiss, right? So the Knicks argued that Tannenbaum, who's the chairman of the NBA Board of Governors, would create a conflict of interest because he has a great relationship with Adam Silver, right? And he serves as his boss and has a heavy influence over Silver's employment and salary, right? He also has a friendship with Silver. That's really the key. It's not because he's the boss. The Knicks feel like Silver has a relationship with Tannenbaum, who's in charge of the Raptors. That's going to be a conflict if Adam Silver is the one to mediate, the whole thing. That's why they want to go to the court. So this is all about something that is like unprecedented, and the Knicks argue that they don't have this language inside the NBA Constitution, and they feel like it's a violation that will be better handled in the court of law, right? Let's see. I hear you, but let's see. I like your podcast. I'm talking about your mic. I maxed the volume. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Hold on. Let me turn up the mic a little bit. Do you do I sound a little louder? Do I sound a lot better? Thanks, Ricky Chan, for letting me know about my mic. Sometimes I don't like to put the mic too loud because it creates some sort of static, but it should be good now. It should be good now. To all the people that's listening that had a hard time here, and I apologize. Typically, when I edit it, I raise the volume. But on live stream, there is no editing. So hopefully I sound a lot better now. We're getting ready to wrap up anyway. But thank you, Ricky, for letting me know about that. Okay, better. Okay, this is great. I'm gonna keep it at this volume. Um, so let's see. We talked about Tannenbaum. Um, yeah, I pretty much broke it down. So what do you guys think? What do you think, Ricky? Do you think that the Knicks are, they're within their rights of taking it outside of the NBA? I'm trying to think if there's anything I want to add to this. That's all. I got these in my notes. So salute to everybody. I went a little over time, but that's fine. Just wanted to make sure I hit certain key topics. Definitely check out the website, theobjectiveknicksfan.com. All this stuff will be on there, especially if you're listening to this in the future and you missed the live taping. No problem. That's why it's a podcast. You can reach it at any time. Thank you, Ricky Chan. Thank you, King Ribby. Thank you to all the people that partake. Um, Facebook was kind of quiet today, but that's fine. YouTube always keeps it live. And that's all for this podcast. Until next time,